like I've said in the past, it's tough to do that within a game, to play inside and outside. Like, oh, okay, base, now you're outside, nickel, go play the nickel. And I think it's just clicking that much faster. It's like anything time on task, he just continues to get better in both spots because he's playing both spots. So that part's good.
For him, was it something like just kind of getting past the point where he felt like he was thinking through things too much, and now he's just more reacting? Is it that kind of scenario?
That's it. I mean, that's really it. That's really anybody. How fast can you get away from the thinking about everything to where you're anticipating and just reacting? That's really the main goal with anyone. And usually you see with the young guys or rookies, when they start to flash early, it's because they grasp it quickly, and then it starts to click. And that's really the goal. How quickly can it, be second nature and be reactive?
Jalen Graham got some reps with the starters there at the end. What are you seeing from those two linebackers in particular?
Same thing. They're just, getting better because it's starting to click for them. And, I talk about, speed, violence, and finish. To me, a lot of speed is, you run fast, but speed is also your preparation and your knowledge of the game, because you hear veteran guys say it all the time, oh, the game slowed down for me. It slowed down. Well, you look so much faster because it did slow down, because now you're more comfortable in your understanding. Now you anticipate, based on motions and alignments, and the stuff happens as you think it should happen, and now you can go make plays. And that's what you're seeing. D almost had a pick today, in that backed up period, because, again, the game's slowing down and he's playing faster. Same with Jalen.
Between D and Devondre and Jalen, how do you go about determining which of the two will be out there when you're in the nickel?
Well, Devondre he's out there with Fred. So it's just a good group of linebackers. I think a lot of those guys, even Zeke Turner, who's new, he's come in, he's fit in. Curtis Robinson has had a nice camp. And Flam, when he's, back healthy, the times he's been in, he's always been a staple for us that can play all three positions. And even Tatum Bethune, one of our late round picks, he's done a nice job. He's starting to grasp it well. I think you see that with a lot of the guys that we brought in, period. They're our type of guys, and they care, and it makes sense to them, and they're starting to, we've got this great competitive group on defense on all levels, and that's the part that's exciting.
Seems like Jair Brown's going above and beyond when it comes to communicating. What have you seen from him and jumping from year one to year two, and just as far as intangibles, not so much on the field?
Yeah, again, the comfort and the confidence. I think he can anticipate things. He's starting to do more communicating out there, and again, that's what's you're gonna find out. Without Huff out there, what are Gio and Tig gonna do? And those guys stepped up. They elevated their game. Huff is a great communicator. Gip as well, who's not here, right? So those guys get this opportunity and they get all these extra reps, and now they're stepping in and doing a really nice job. And it's through all those extra reps that you're seeing that improvement.
How many different ways can you use Yetur Gross-Matos? I feel like I've seen him rush inside, outside, drop.
Yeah, I mean, he can, mix it up. Like I said, he's an interior pass rusher as well. Like he gets after it, and it's exciting to have him because he's very multiple.
What do you think of Beal so far? Really talented guy, but from where he was last year to now.
It's starting again. The same thing. It's another year of being able to get on his lines and be explosive and think less. If he's a really explosive and fast guy, like he can really run, and if he can just stay on that track and continue to get better, he's going to be a good player.
Back on your linebackers real quick, you talk about like the versatility you want, especially in backup guys. How do you kind of thread the needle when you got a guy like Graham, for example, where you want him to get comfortable at Mike, but also maybe you're going to need him at Sam? Like, how do you just kind of work through that in terms of getting reps at different spots?
Based on the player and what we know about him, and as you get to know him, what you think is their best spot. That's something that Johnny Holland is always kind of, and everybody really, when we evaluate guys, what you think they could play. But when you're young and a backup, okay, what are the two spots I can play? So there is some value as you get older if you can play multiple spots. Just like I say about Demo, guys that play nickel and corner, or people that have played nickel and safety, if you have that versatility, it's good. Same with linebacker. I mean, it's different. Oh, am I making the calls, as the Mike, and you're in a different spot and you could have some different responsibilities, or am I the Will of the Sam, where I could be more outside? And with Jalen, he had never really been in the box in college. He was a high school quarterback too. He's a good athlete. He's smart. So we're like, okay, let's see how he is at Mike. And he's handled it well. But you still need to have the versatility like you see with, Curtis Robinson, who's been here a while, and Flan. And, the more they get, the more they add to their value.
harder when you have a guy who you're using more at Mike to get them reps at other places just because there's so much more on their plate when they're making?
No, I mean, you can still get multiple spots. I think you started early, kind of like what we did with Renardo, with nickel. We made sure we got him both spots. You don't want to necessarily just totally shock somebody later with something that's harder, but you can. You trickle it in as you see it based on the player and what you think they can handle. And so it's never the same for everybody. Everybody's different.
The third down defense wasn't great last season. What would you say the key is to improving that aspect of the defense this year?
Well, I think there's a few things. It's a lot of times it's just execution and, harping on the details and being really, really detail oriented with how we rush, how we cover. And just those two things tied together. It's always so much of these things are so close and so minuscule that if we just continue to stay consistent with how tight can we be with our details, that extra half a step is, a win or a loss on that play.
You guys are real deep at defensive tackle, it seems. What do you and Chris think so far of Evan Anderson, and what does he need to work on to make this team?
I think he's done a nice job. With him, again, it's the guys learning the attack and being on their line, getting your footwork right. With him, it's, being consistent in your steps and your footwork. He has the power. He's an athletic guy for a big guy. But it's just, how consistent can he be? And our offense gives us, good looks. They give us a lot of looks. You get a lot of movement. It's, good players with, explosive O-line. So he's getting a lot of work. He's gotten better.
Is there a process with deciding if Deomdor Lenore is best always outside or best being outside and rotating to nickel? Is there any process behind that, or is he pretty much just the best nickel guy, so he's always going to move inside?
Well, we've been kind of rotating. We kind of mix things up, and you always want to try and change things up and see what guys can handle at different times, and that's pretty much what we've been doing. A lot of positions.
We're going to see you before the next weekend. Have Coach Shanahan and yourself, have you guys decided, will any of the starters see the field in the first preseason game?
I'm sure Kyle will handle that, and we'll talk through it.
Eager to get out to call plays for the first time, even preseason game?
I am. I'm excited because it's fun when you get to some of these. We started getting into the move the ball periods where it's not scripted, and it makes it just more fun, And it's also with your process of, your coaching staff and who's giving you personnel and how we hand that off and how we communicate to the players and, being in a rhythm. There's been some different situations to where you can call different calls, but those true move the ball, that's where it feels the most like football,
This might be a bit of a random question because I know you don't work closely with him, but Bobby Turner is somewhat of a legendary figure.
Yes.
He's known as extremely meticulous, among other things. I
Yes.
guess, how would you describe what you know of him and just his coaching style and why he has built a reputation?
You're right. Pretty much what you've said. Meticulous, on it, passionate, very serious. But he, in talking with him, I think at one of the away game dinners or something, he was a really good athlete, multi-sport athlete too. So he's he'll talk about that too. But as far as his football and getting the players right, that's his number one. He's going to take care of that. And he's a heck of a coach, and he's very, very detailed and very serious about it. And that's why you see so much production, and that's why he's coached for so long. A lot of respect for him.
Is he ever not serious?
No, he'll joke around here and there. I've seen him joke around here and there. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, guys.
A lot of people said you're playing faster. Did you feel like as a rookie, like do you feel? I don't know, stupid question. Like, do you feel slow? Like I am not moving at my college level.
Yeah, last year my head was kind of everywhere. Trying to find my role on the team and special teams, defense. There's a new install every day, so yeah, my head was kind of spinning and everything was so fast to me. So I think this year it was great to get a year under my belt and have a lot of confidence to go in and start playing fast this year.
How do you know if like, oh crap, I'm not ready for the NFL, or oh it's okay, this is normal?
Can you ask that question again? I'm sorry.
I mean, is it like, are there ever moments of like, geez, is this too much for me? Or do you feel like, okay, this is just normal rookie stuff, I'm gonna figure it out?
Yeah, I think you're always going to figure it out. Everybody has to go over those bumps and bruises their rookie season and kind of have to learn how to be a vet. And I think that's what year one has to do with everyone. So I think, like I said, everybody has to go through that and experience it.
How much did you just try and be a sponge where it came to just watching Fred and D?
Yeah. Last year, I was just trying to steal gems from those two guys, Dre and Fred, and kind of elevate my game. Soon get up to that caliber. So.
I saw Dre kneeling on the sidelines, yelling out to you the other day during 11. How does it feel to have the support of both Fred and Dre in your second year like this?
Yeah, it definitely means a lot. I think that's something that kind of keeps giving me confidence. It's letting me know, hey, you're doing a good job. Just go out there and, just keep competing. And, when you got guys like Dre and Fred rooting for you, man, you can't go wrong.
Fred even said you were the MVP of OTAs or minicamp, and has been really proud of how much you've progressed. How does that make you feel when you look back at your first year?
Yeah, it makes me feel good, especially coming from, the best linebacker in the league. It definitely kind of put a little chip on my shoulder to keep working hard to prove, everybody else wrong and, just do my job.
Yeah, Fred says that you were the hardest working guy on the team this offseason. How would you describe what you've done this offseason? What kinds of things have you worked on?
Yeah, I think I just, dialed in more on the details. I think I spent my offseason, studying plays more with the little details within the scheme and, just kind of managing those things to kind of, give me an edge of, people I'm competing with and, taking advantage of that.
What kind of a player is Jalen Graham?
Physical player. Love Jalen to death. Came in together, with Wilkes and stuff like that. So, yeah, we pretty much took that year one learning off of each other, and we've both been, elevating our game.
Well, what's Campbell brought to the group? He's a little different than you guys in that he's a taller guy,
Yeah.
but he's got lots of years in the league. And how would you evaluate him so far?
Yeah, like you said, he has a bunch of experience, so he pretty much has seen it all. Him to be able to read offensive tendencies has been huge in our room, and he's been helping us, me, Jalen, and Tatum, and he's been doing a good job.
Is there a point or go ahead, Aaron.
Go ahead.
Is there a point or a play where you realize we're like, okay, it's starting to slow down. I can see everything a little bit differently now.
Yeah, I've had a couple of plays during camp. I think it just comes with reps. I'm starting to get confident, like I said, and once I see a formation, I'm like, okay, I know what's coming, and anticipating has been a huge emphasis on this year's install, and I think I'm doing a good job.
The other day in one of the ones you were on McCaffrey, which is a tough assignment, but you were all over him. I think it was at PBU. Is it like whatever? It's like the middle of training camp. This is one-on-one drill, or do you still go like, yeah, I just took care of Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, I try to go against Christian every day. I just try to, compete, and, I think that's going to get me ready for the games. And in order to do that, I got to go against the best. So I think Christian does a great job on his routes, and I kind of gave him a little tug, but I got the PBU, and, hey, I celebrated.
It's going to be the preseason opener this week. So how much do you miss live tackling?
Oh, man, I haven't got to hit anybody in a long time, so I'm definitely looking forward to, our first game, and definitely excited for that.
Very random question about the Guardian caps, and just, are you guys getting used to them, and are you noticing the differences that they make? And is it more comfortable now than maybe when you guys first started practicing with them?
Oh, yeah, I've been kind of using the Guardian cap since my sophomore year in college, so, I mean, there's definitely reasons for it, concussion purposes and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's gotten a whole lot easier for me, kind of used to it now, so I'm definitely happy to have those.
What have you learned from the kickoff coverage reps that you guys have gotten? It's new for everybody, or
Right.
it's new for us watching it. What have you taken away so far from it?
Oh man, you just got to play fast. You know, you're within 5 yards of the blocker. You know, and you got to be able to react and get off blocks quick and go make a play. But that's pretty much it. Just playing fast is what you got to do.
All good? All right, thanks, Steve.
Thank y'all.
These training camp practices, they're pretty well scripted, so I'm wondering, you don't go off script much, and how do you kind of work on your improvisational skills, I guess, in camp or in the preseason?
Yeah, I mean, once you get in the season and like a regular season game, things break down. That's part of football. Going off schedule and finding guys in the scramble drill and all that kind of stuff. So when you're in practice, you got your scripted plays and you want to be on time. You want to go through your progressions, but the minute something breaks down, for me, I'm still trying to treat it like a live rep. And it really is for the receivers as well. Like for us to find each other, find open space, and work on those kinds of things. If you just sit there and take a sack, which it might be in a game, but for practice, it's like, hey, let's continue to try to find something to work on. So that's how I look at it.
When you throw an interception in practice and watch it on film afterward, what's your process of assessing yourself on that play?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, what kind of pick it is. If I'm trying to fit it in a window and trying to just be aggressive, or I just couldn't see a guy, those are the questions you got to ask yourself, and that's what I do ask myself. And obviously I get pretty mad at myself in terms of, dude, you turn the ball over and you can't do that. So it's finding a way to grow mentally for myself in terms of, dude, you can't do that, or hey, I was being aggressive here and we're just trying it out, and I'm seeing if I can do it with this guy in that kind of window or that kind of look. And so, but at the end of the day, I'm not just out there trying to just throw the ball up and act like it's camp and I don't care, because I do. So
Jordan Mason was talking to us yesterday and said that he sunk $3,000 into a jugs machine and had his dad shoot him passes like tons during the off season to upgrade his receiving skills. Have you noticed an upgrade in his receiving skills?
Yeah, JP looks great, man. He's on top of his stuff, and just in terms of the run game and the fits and his pass protection, like just seeing it as a running back, you could tell he's on it. And then when he gets out and for checkdowns and he's where he's supposed to be, he's got great hands. And he's the kind of guy that we've trusted in the past, but even more so now. He's shown it time and time again, and he's building pretty good practices. So we're excited about it, and obviously the more guys in the running back room, the better. So proud of him.
Talked a lot about the physical and mental benefits of having that full off season. From a leadership standpoint, have you felt just being out there every day and getting all those reps in the spring, just making you feel more comfortable in terms of commanding the huddle, or just feeling like you're in charge out there?
Yeah. When I first came in the NFL, like as a rookie, and even last year coming off like the surgery and stuff, there's a little timidness in terms of, all right, like you go in, you got to say the play, you got to say it correctly. You break the huddle, and what are my reads and this and that. But now it's like I feel good with the guys, with the language of the offense, and I can see it in my mind quicker when coach calls a play. So it's a lot more smooth for me, and I love that. But I still got to find that edge every day of, all right, I have to find ways to be uncomfortable and still walk in the huddle, command it, break it, and not just think that the game's easy, because it's not. It's never going to be easy, and I got to continue to push myself in that way. But in terms of hearing the play, getting in the huddle, speaking to the guys, saying little things outside of the play, like, hey, reminder, this, that, I feel a lot better with that. So.
Expound on that. How do you find ways to make yourself feel uncomfortable?
Just like the play clock. Greasy has the play clock going up, so I'm not back there thinking about the play all day, walking in the huddle. It's like having that sense of urgency. Like, all right, I know the play, I know what I have to do on this, but it's getting in the huddle, getting some sense of urgency, getting up to the clock. We got 3 seconds left, and even in practice, like guys want to get set and then we motion, but my thing is like walk up and, hey, let's go. We don't have time, and so like let's make it more game realistic. So that's the level that I'm at now with it.
Brock, you mentioned you're upset. Obviously, you throw a training camp interception. Much was made of the other day. You threw 4 picks in your last 5 attempts. I mean, after something like that, are you like, get out of my way, I'm super pissed, or like? Or is it just like, okay, I understand why these things happen? Or I guess what's your emotions, because it became like whether you know it or not, a national story.
Yeah. No, I take pride in protecting the ball for our offense and our team, and so obviously I'm mad when I'm not completing the ball to our guys and it's going to the defense. So and I'm hard on myself, and the coaches are too. Like, we have a standard here, so it's not like I said, we're just going out and just because it's practice, it's okay to throw picks. Like, no, there's still a standard here. And so, but with that is, I know you guys have heard me say this all over the media, but now's the time to be trying out some stuff in terms of throwing some windows and some tight coverages and whatnot. But you know, I still got to grow. I still got to be better, and I'm hard on myself with it. But you know, now's the time to do it. I remember last year coming off my UCL at practice, I was throwing some stuff and I threw multiple days of picks and stuff. But you get into the season and you're ready for those moments and you're ready to execute and protect the ball. So that's where we're at in the time of year.
Like
You
today.
you were on the field after practice, doing some extra reps with the guys catching. What were you working on?
Just throwing on the run. You know, I feel like at practice, I can continue to get better at throwing on the run and being in time on throwing on the run. So today after practice, I just wanted to hone in on, you know, we have a day off tomorrow, so I wanted to get after it in terms of staying on the move, being accurate with the throws, and trying to get better.
Like today with no Debo, no McCaffrey, no Ayuk, guys you would be throwing to a lot in games. How does a day like today benefit you?
It's good. I mean, obviously, we have like our star players not getting a whole lot of reps, so we have other guys stepping up. And for me, it's all right, regardless of the mismatches and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to drop back, go through my reads, and I got to be efficient regardless of, you know, not having my guys out there. So stepping up, going through reads, hitting Chris Conley over the middle, checking the ball down, like being smart. It makes me, you know, play quarterback really efficiently. Not saying when they are on the field, I'm not. But when they are on the field, I'm my antenna's up in terms of, all right, if I do get this look, I'm more tentative to throwing Ayuk or Debo. So a day like this was good for me to just go through reads, take completions, and be efficient.
Or Brock, if a new receiver walks in the room, how long does it typically take you rep-wise before you feel real comfortable with that receiver?
Probably, you know, like maybe a couple weeks, to be honest. You know, we have to go over so much detail within our routes, our concepts, our timing, all of that. It's not a couple days and then you feel good and you're ready to go play a game. Like, it takes time, especially in this offense. Like, everything is so detailed within our offense and our scheme that I have to have a guy come in and learn and understand things and where to be and the timing of a concept, not doing too much in his route and stuff. All those things take time. And so, I mean, I'd probably say a couple weeks if that were the case. But, yeah.
Close to a couple weeks with Ricky Pearsall. What would have been your kind of impressions of him as he goes through his first camp here?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's getting better and better, just more comfortable within our offense. But, you know, I think we need more reps, you know, to throw him the ball, need more opportunities and looks. And that'll come. I'm confident in that. But last couple of days, like, I've tried to get him the ball and stuff, and whether he's trying to get held or trying to get in and out of cuts, like, it's sometimes tough at practice because you don't always get the cleanest look, so you're trying to make it happen. But he's doing a good job. He's picking up the playbook. He's learning it real well. And, you know, from what we did in the OTAs, and then he had a little setback with his hamstring, so we just got to get back on track with that. But I'm confident that we will.
Brock, some of the rapport and timing with Conley back to the Packers game in the playoffs on that out, but it seems like this camp he's been a much more featured target. Has that kind of rapport, how has it grown with him getting more reps, you know, with the first team and all that with you?
Yeah, I mean, dude, Chris has that veteran mindset. He's smart, and sort of like what I was talking about just in terms of, you know, he understands the details of our offense, and he understands where he needs to be, the timing, of the concepts and the plays, and so you know, Chris, obviously he's just got that older veteranness to him where, you know, he's smart within plays and reads and knows where to be and where we need him to be. So you know, we've grown obviously from last year playoff games. There's been some clutch plays between us, and he's been where he needs to be. And so in camp, man, he's come in, you know, ready to roll. Like, he's got fresh legs. He's moving quick. And like I said, like, we've been able to connect. And that's because he sees the defense really well, and he's supposed to be where he needs to be. So he's done a great job.
Brock, have you been over your preseason game plan? Do you anticipate seeing the field next weekend?
We haven't talked about that. So we're just taking one day at a time. And I think it all just depends on how practices go and my reps and how I'm feeling and stuff. But I'm sure we'll make a decision here as the game comes closer. So,
Lenore has earned a lot of praise in camp so far. What have you seen going up against him every day?
Yeah, he's a baller, man. He's got just good ball instincts, and he understands football well. He's gotten more and more reps, obviously, as his career's gone on. And you know, for us, like, every time we walk up to the line and I see him in man coverage, I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a battle here. So he pushes our guys. He pushes me. You know, I got to be accurate with the ball because he's going to be on the back hip pretty tightly, and you know, he's made some really good plays. So going up against him and a bunch of the DBs, man. You know, Ike and then obviously the linebackers in the middle and Tig in the back. Like we got a great defense going up every rep. So they're all pushing us, but Demo's doing a great job.
Any early impressions of Mordecai, the rookie?
Yeah. You know, he's come in and he's just put his head down and he's gone to work. He's studied his butt off, and in meetings, you know, Greasy's asking him a lot of the questions and stuff to push him and help him continue to develop. And after practice, he's staying. And then, you know, when he's gotten his reps so far, the last couple of days, he's done really well. He's taken what the defense has given him. He's been ready for his opportunity, and I'm happy to see his success, and I know he's going to continue to grow. So Tanner can rip it, so I'm excited for him.
Last one. Serious question, but I mean, you make relatively little in salary, and so you've done a lot of, you know, commercials and stuff. Does that provide a nice supplemental income? Like seriously.
Next question. No,
and like, how is it? I assume you've got a lot of opportunities, and you probably haven't taken them all. But what is the process like? Is it your agent says, "Hey, Brock, what about this?" Or you just like, how is it presented to you, and then how do you decide? Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for me, obviously, I don't make a whole lot. I make a good amount playing football, but you know, just with the lifestyle and the privacy for my wife and I, and the things that we're able to do with my family outside of football, you know, we got to make some kind of money somehow. You know, and so marketing is a great opportunity for us. And so, yeah, a business or organization will hit up my agent, and he'll bring it to me, and he'll say, hey, this aligns with who you are and what you believe, or this might not, so we can pass on it. So, I mean, those are the decisions that go into it. But, you know, for me, like I said, I'm trying to, you know, provide for my wife and my family moving forward with our life, because you never know, tomorrow's not promised. So we've tried to be smart about it, but there's been some good opportunities this offseason, and that's why I've been able to do some. So.
Privacy, I mean, is it to a point where it may be impractical for you, given you've reached a level of fame, to like be hanging out in some random apartment complex and saying hi to Joe Blow, you know, as you leave? Like, is that what kind of you're getting at?
Yeah, I mean, just that, or like, how do I describe it? Like, yeah, just security, you know, with our house where we live, and when we travel and stuff, being able to, you know, fly first class and do like those kinds of things, and Ubers, like the more expensive ones were the more private. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm just thinking long term for my wife and I. Like, yes, like the privacy aspect. Like with privacy comes expenses, and it's a little bit more expensive with that kind of lifestyle. So that's what I'm thinking of. But thanks, guys.